When they're off to college, it is an opportunity for you to like run around naked all the time. Or, you know what I like to say, once they move out, your scissors will never go missing again. There's so many positive things.
We are Moms Unhinged, a nationally touring stand-up comedy show. Join us in our podcast as we explore everything from motherhood, midlife crisis, marriage, divorce, online dating, menopause, and other things that irritate us. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Moms Unhinged, the podcast. I'm your host, Andrea Marie, and I am joined today by the fantastic, the lovely Lisa Lane.
Hey,
Welcome,
Andrea. Woo, good to be here. Summertime edition.
I know, summertime, and today we're talking about sending your kids to college because, you know, it is like I felt like when I was sending my kids to college, it was a whole summer activity. It was like, you know, you're shopping. It felt like for the whole summer. So you might be out there shopping right now. You might be planning. You might be thinking, I mean, now colleges start so early too. Like what? You have to be there
So
like early
true.
August?
And for athletes too, huh? Yeah, really early. That's right. It's coming up.
Crazy. But as we were talking right before we hit record, kind of a fun little thing is my oldest son just graduated from college. So that
Congratulations, Mom. I mean, whatever it may mean in this world today, it is a milestone, pure and simple. And at a certain point in that child's life, I'm sure you wondered if he had the critical thinking skills to like walk across the street at a certain point. They get kind of dumb for a minute. And then you go, oh, look at that. The critical thinking, the brain is forming. We're getting there. And it's a milestone. So congratulations, Andrea Marie.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
And your son.
Yes, of course. Of course. He did a great job. It was a 6-year project. But hey, that's what happens these times.
That's right.
So it was in the middle of COVID. The first school he went to was not a fit. He dropped out and took a semester off. So there was a whole, and they didn't accept any credits because why would they? Because that would mean they would get less money, you know.
Dollar bill, y'all.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, but it was a little touch and go. Like literally the month before he was going to graduate, he's like, oh, hey, I found out that I am 1 credit short. We're like, what? What? You have had 6 years, what?
Doesn't that, by the way, sound like a joke you say about your kids when they're in that stage of adolescence? Like, he is 1 credit short of a toolbox, you know. One credit short. Yeah, you are. Okay, anyway.
Yeah.
How did he resolve the 1
Well,
credit?
it was kind of, like I said, super stressful because he was like, oh, Mom, I'm doing, you know, like I always think of your voice, Mom.
It is true. I don't know why that is my default voice. I've realized it's not just for my own sons. It's all men. If I am even with a happy heart, even if I'm not making fun of them, when I imitate a man, I end up going, it's not very nice.
It isn't. But it sort of feels a little true sometimes.
Mom.
I know. So, yeah, he's like, Mom, I'm really busy. I think I can test out of it. Well, so he put the test off until the week before, and then he found out that he didn't have the right computer. Apparently, he needed some special computer to test out of it. And then he's trying to contact his success advisor or whatever. And like, it came down to the day before graduation when he finally got some approved, you know, substitution credit for it. And we were all just like on pins and needles. I was like, oh my God, of course. And it does sort of, you know, your children can be very different about how they approach things and deadlines. And he's just kind of, that was very fitting of how he ended his college career.
Right. And of course, that's exactly right. There are many other kinds of children, but that kind I get, like that is, I was just, as you're saying that, I can't help, I mean, it's hilarious. It is so spot on. Like they're so, it's like you're a stereotype of yourself, you guys. Adolescent, get your shit together. But also, like the metaphor, there's so many that you could go. I mean, just the metaphor of what that is for parenting. Of course, it all works out in the end. Yeah. And of course, we all got very, very stressed out. And oh my gosh, there was so much drama. But again, even as zen as we try to be about it as parents,
Yes.
as much as we try to go, hey, trust the process, and
Right.
it's an imperfect journey. And,
And
okay, but
they
like that
need to
kind of
learn this
stuff, that
lesson.
is,
I know.
come on now. Like that
Why?
is so
Why?
much drama. That is so hard as a mom to just sit back like the Buddha and wait while you're going, time is ticking, dollars are going down the drain. We are,
That was it. We were like, he was like saying, well, I could always take summer class. I'm like, what? More class. What?
I
Oh
asked
my
a young
God.
person recently, did you graduate college in 4 years? Because like you were saying, and truly, I have a son also who started college in COVID or was in school during COVID. Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
Anyway, so yeah, weird timing. But anyway, and the way things are going this year, I mean, these days. But anyway, I asked this young person, and the answer was amazing. He goes, no, did I graduate college in 4 years? No, that'd be like leaving the party at 10. I went, all right, so
So
that's a
true.
cultural phenomenon now. It's true. Why would you? Gosh darn,
Why?
those are
Why?
anyway. Well,
Why get out into the
congratulations,
real world?
and what's
Yeah.
do we know? I mean, it's you never ask what's next, but I mean,
Yeah, no. Oh, who knows? Who knows? That's
Okay, yeah.
another. We just made it to this point, and we're just gonna.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's just a milestone, and we just
Yeah.
celebrate the wins, right?
Yeah.
That is,
Yeah.
ooh, it's something. It's better than a lot of things that could be happening.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
But they do keep you. They just keep you on edge, I guess, is
Yeah.
what I'm saying. It feels like, and I'm learning more and more with my increasingly adult children. Gee, Louise, they never just kind of. I keep expecting it's going to get a little easier.
I know. It's a. I didn't. I know. I didn't
mean,
know it
it's
lasted
easier,
forever. Yeah, it lasts forever.
It
I know.
lasts forever. I get, yeah.
Right.
Anyway, that's funny.
Yeah.
So back to the whole thing. Congratulations
Yeah.
to your graduate. But
Right.
you were just talking about some parents who might be getting ready to send their kids off to
Yeah.
college.
Yeah.
And you were saying they're probably doing a lot of things, the buying, the list making,
Oh, yeah.
the admin, the making
Right.
sure and also
Right.
for anybody who is listening who may be in that position, the grieving they're doing.
Yeah.
And the transitioning and the emotions that they're doing.
Yeah.
I remember the summer before my first kid left. And I remember I was walking around the office. I had a job at an office. And I remember saying, I can't wait. Because, we had gotten to that point where I was ready to launch.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand him, to tell you the truth,
Yeah.
anymore. You need to go and leave your peanut butter covered spoon in somebody else's sink. May I never see that again. We were ready. He was ready. So I kept saying,
Yeah.
I cannot wait and I cannot breathe.
Yeah.
And I remember
So
telling
true.
other mothers who like years after that behind me. So this is my big advice. If you have a kid who's going off to college, especially for the first time, if it's your first or your last, they each one are emotional for different reasons. But here's my advice to moms. All that summer long, when it's going to hit you, you're going to like accidentally, you're packing something up and you're going to open a drawer and find like a little baseball t-shirt from him when he was 6 years old. I just want to tell you, let's just normalize it. Go ahead and just cry it out. Just sit
Yeah.
there and indulge yourself in all of
Right.
the crazy, complicated, conflicting emotions that live in your heart right then.
Yeah.
Just cry it out. Just let it go. And I promise you, take deep breaths. And by Thanksgiving, it's all going to be okay. It's all going to work
Right.
out. I can
Yeah.
almost promise it almost every time, right? But it is so exquisitely emotional waiting for that moment of launch.
Yeah.
That's why we had them. I've been waiting for that moment for 18 years.
I
And yet,
know.
I couldn't breathe.
Yeah. It was so weird. And yeah, just like you said, so many complicated emotions. You're like, oh yay, they're doing their own thing. They need to be out on their own. They need to be maturing. But at the same time, that room is just so empty. It just feels so quiet, like so much quiet. Even with just the one gone,
Yeah.
even when they really weren't around that much, you kind of, once they get their driver's license, they're kind of not around as much. But it's still like this wild vacuum.
It
that
is. It's weird.
happens.
And you just know.
Yeah.
And you forget. It's like a physical presence that isn't there.
Yeah.
And you forget that he's
Yeah.
not going to be up, in the middle of the night eating everything in the fridge. And then you kind
Yeah.
of miss it. But anyway,
The
yeah.
shoes, the shoes by the door. That was
funny.
when I was like, "There's no shoes by the door," like. And we both had boys. We're both boy moms. I think it's probably very different for girl moms, like what they,
Yeah,
the whole
yeah,
experience
yeah.
is very different, probably.
Yeah, right. But yeah, but and it's just yeah, it's such a funny thing. So going off to college, I also, yes, as you just said, I have two boys, and they both, well, it's funny because they have both admitted this as adults. They were underachievers in high school. They knew that they
Mm.
did not fully apply themselves, so they were good
Mm.
students, but they went to
Hmm.
public high school and they were athletes anyway. They were not great students, and they have both admitted it since going to college. Like, I kind of got away with telling myself I didn't fully apply myself in high school. At a
Yeah.
certain point in
Yeah.
college and for them in graduate school, it got to the point like, oh, shoot, now I really have to work and I really have to apply myself.
Uh-huh.
And it was funny. So, anyway, they were not stellar students. Both of them took gap years under different circumstances.
Okay.
We can talk about that if you
Yeah.
want. And both of them ended up, they are both currently they both have their master's degrees and they are both currently in PhD programs. So, for these
Wow.
not, I wouldn't have guessed it in a million years.
Yeah, PhD
They're
programs.
both
That is
like
hard.
fully in academia and like
Yeah.
they don't have a pot to pee in. I mean, they are so poor. They are living the academic life.
Yeah.
One abroad, one has gotten his degrees in France and one
Yeah.
in this country. So anyway, that's where I am in the college process. They have been gone actually for quite some time.
Yeah.
Became an empty nester in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the college experience. But one funny thing I remember is finally becoming the empty nester and taking my kid off to college and finally moving him into a dorm room. And again, this is where I think boy mom, not to be binary about it,
Yeah.
truly, I know a lot of lucky boy moms who don't have this experience, but I only had boys. So I went like, let's move you into the dorm.
Right.
And I had a lot of ideas about this. Like,
Uh-huh.
you
Decorating?
know, oh, and in fact, he was an RA by the time he lived, it doesn't matter. He lived at home the first year and commuted and then went and was an RA his sophomore year. And he was also living in the dorm for the first time. So I was like, you get to decorate your whole hallway. I was involved,
Yeah.
like, I was recruiting the neighborhood moms who had all helped raise him and planned every one of his birthday parties and everything for, like, what theme are we going to do? And we were not invited. And the day that I moved him into the dorm, he kind of was like, okay, bye. And I was
I
like, don't you
know.
want to hang up some posters or whatever? And he was like, no, I had taken a whole day off of work and he went to
Yeah.
college nearby that I was nearby. And I was like, okay, so I went to Costco and bought a bunch of snacks and stuff for his
Yeah.
fridge, feeling
Yeah.
like, I guess that's what I should do as a mom.
Yeah.
We had done
Yeah.
everything else. And by the time I came back, that kid had fully decorated his room. He had put up one Star Wars poster with tape.
Yeah.
And he had laid out all of his Rubik's cubes and his lightsabers
Done.
against the wall in an artful way. And done is right. Like, proud of it. That's his decor.
Boom. I know.
And mom, bye-bye. I never want to see you in this room again. Well, all righty. I really envisioned a different thing.
I know. It's so funny because I had to twist my son's arm to get like a decorative pillow.
Right.
He was like, no, I don't need that. I'm like, no, you just get an extra pillow. You just might need it to, read with or whatever. And he's like, fine, so
Right,
we
yes.
got it.
And I'm like,
Extra
seriously,
pillow.
when I went to college, and I mean, like, my mom and I mean, gosh, I picked my comforter.
Yeah.
And oh,
We
God,
had
I
a
mean, I thought
theme.
about
We had
every
a-
single bit of it. And also,
Yeah.
like, which is interesting because my son was doing the exact same thing back when I was 17 years old going off to college. I was thinking, how is every single item in my life that I'm bringing how is it going to express me, right? Who am I? What does this say
yeah.
about me? Well,
Right.
so was my son. It was lightsabers and Rubik's Cubes.
That's it. They're just kind of
That's
just
his jam.
so
Anyway.
funny.
So those
Well,
were
we
some
had-
college
Yeah.
experiences where, again, you just don't know. And I have seen that happen. I have seen it happen.
Yeah.
My very best friend, her daughter went off to college and was much more, okay, mom, you can be involved in
Yeah.
the decorating. Although at
Yeah.
one point she did tell me that her mom made her bring an umbrella and she rolled her eyes about that. Stupid moms.
I know, right? An umbrella. I don't know when no one uses those, Mom.
So dumb. And she went to college in a fairly rainy place. So I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Anyway, but her mom, her mom was involved got to sort of plan that and meet the roommate before and just coordinate comforters and
Yeah.
posters on the
Yeah.
wall and stuff. But then I remember that mom feeling like, and then she kind of expected to hear from her daughter every single day. And
Oh,
actually, at
yeah.
one point, just said, "Can you please send me a picture every day of your life?"
Yeah.
And the daughter going, "No, I
Uh-huh.
don't want to."
Yeah.
And the mom saying, "But I know you're doing Snapchats every single. You're taking the
Yeah.
picture. Can you please just
Yeah.
send it to just copy and paste to
Yeah.
me?" And
Yeah.
I mean, it was really interesting because that daughter was doing what they are supposed to do. They all do. She was
Right.
creating that space for herself. But it was so
Yeah.
funny that mom really did feel the grief of, gosh,
Yeah.
I thought I was going to be part of her every day and really hear a
Yeah.
lot about the
What's
sorority
happening?
she's joining and
Right.
all of that, and to transition into that next phase of our lives where it is
Yeah.
literally not our job.
Yeah. It is hard. It is hard when you have that like total that disconnection where you just don't know what they're doing and you don't, you're like, "Oh gosh, I hope things are okay." And usually it is no news is good news. We had kind of an opposite situation with my son where he graduated high school right in 2020, COVID, and decided, we didn't know what was going on. And so he did decide to go to school. We were kind of encouraging a gap year, but we didn't know either. You just were like, well, and so he did go ahead and go to school, but it was rough. It was a rough, the school was all virtual. It was like, you were kind of just, he had some decent roommates, but he didn't know them. And, there wasn't anything happening. And so by the end of that school, he really was realizing that this wasn't a good fit for him. And so then we were hearing from him every day, and it
Right,
wasn't a good thing
right,
because he
right.
was
Yes,
so bummed out and he just didn't have it ended up that his second set of roommates were very not good for him and very separate. And so he was alone and not really socializing at all. So we would have dinner via Zoom with him every day.
yeah,
And,
wow.
he was struggling. And it's so hard when that happens. I know so many parents who do send your kids off and it isn't the right fit. And then it's so hard because we're used to trying to help them and fix it and whatever it might be, but you're far away and you're just like, I'm hoping they're getting through as best they can and wondering what can be the next step. And luckily he transferred into Savannah School College of Art and Design and loved it and just has had a great time since then. So we were thankful for that second experience, but
And you
that
heard
was
less from
hard.
him when he was
Yeah.
doing better.
Then we're not hearing from him at all until he,
I actually think that's a really good reminder, Andrea. And I mean, hey, comedy, but a lot can go wrong a lot can be going on when
yeah.
they're at college. And I am with you in general, and that is true. And thank you for the reminder. I generally hear more from my sons when they are not okay. You
Yeah.
are right, and I need to remember that because it sort of sucks, right? It's like
Yeah.
once again, like, dude, I've been here the whole time. Can I?
Yeah.
It is an honor to be their mother, and it is an
Yes.
honor that they call me when they are in trouble, and I am
Yeah.
very grateful for that. And may we all remember to tell all of our young people that's okay. They could call us,
Yeah,
and
for
we'll
sure.
be there for them when they are in trouble because college, oh, we all know it. It can go wrong in so many ways.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in
It
general,
can.
I think that is true. I think for most of us that's right. That when we are hearing from them more regularly, it's when they're sad and in
Yeah.
trouble. The thing about college that's so weird, and even if it's not college, if it's a gap year, whatever they're doing, past high school, and depending on the level of involvement you are used to having. I tried very hard not to be a super overly involved in the minutia mom, but I
Hmm.
always kind of kept that. My prerogative is I'm up here hovering like a mother peregrine falcon, and when you are in trouble, I will swoop in.
Yeah.
Gosh darn it, and I will
Yeah.
yank you out of harm's way if I need to. I hope I don't need
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
Only when you need it. Well, past high school, your hands are kind of tied.
Yeah.
You can't know about their grades. I mean, you go
Yeah.
from 24-hour a day access to the grade
Yeah.
book, and
Right.
depending on the kind of parent you are, I mean, I resented the whole thing. I didn't want to do it, but you can't
No.
help it. At certain points, when
Yeah.
they're one credit short, there are things you just have. You're getting the emails at
Yeah.
at 5 o'clock on a Friday night. It ruins
Yeah.
a family weekend.
Yeah.
In college, you have literally no legal rights.
No idea.
You can go
Yeah.
ahead and pay for it, cha-ching, but you may
I
not
feel like
investigate.
there should feel like there should be a little joint action there, hello.
I mean, like the instinct to, again, I never want to do it. Even if they're in elementary school, I never want to walk in and speak to the principal. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
a few times when you have to, or when you're going on a fact-finding mission. My kid is
Yeah.
saying this. Seems like there's some trouble here. I need to
Right.
know what's going on. I'm going to show up. You're not allowed. You're not
No.
allowed when they're in college. I mean, it's fascinating, and it is. I mean, it's a wonderful part of parenting. It is forcing the process of kicking them out of the nest and
Right.
letting them have their own boundaries. I still will. My boys are in their late 20s now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I still believe, I mean, it is true. I hear from them more
Yeah.
when they are not the greatest.
Yeah.
And I still believe that I could get certain calls that would make me drop everything and go. Right.
Yeah,
But
for
also
sure.
knowing, well, yeah, but you can't, you'll see. You're just the mom.
I know.
Right
I
now,
know.
my son is on an internship abroad for my other son, who's in the Rubik's Cube math. He's in a very cool internship in Germany this summer. He's been there for almost a week, and I realize I'm kind of going, proof of life, dude. How's
Yeah,
it going?
exactly.
And I
know.
realized I'm gonna have to call his girlfriend to get an update, and that is okay.
Yeah.
She lives here, but he's going to be more in touch with his girlfriend, whom he shares a life with, and
Yeah.
I couldn't be happier for him. Thank God
Yeah.
he met a wonderful woman who he shares his life with. And guess what? She's so much more important than I am now. So I'm not going to get updates. I'm not going to get them. I'm going to have to go through her. And honestly, it's what I prayed for, right?
Yeah.
It's what
Yeah.
we want for our kids.
Exactly.
But that is such a we're just working ourselves out of the job, Andrea.
I know. It is a wild ride, the whole thing. Now your boys are 2 years apart, right?
1 year apart in school, 18 months apart in age.
Oh, right. 18. Yeah, 18 months. So now what was the difference? So they went to school, like, was it 1 year apart then that that you were then an empty nester?
Yep.
What was the difference, did you feel like, from sending the first one off to the second one? Did you feel a difference?
Huge. I mean, huge. First of all, and most people will feel that different children,
Yeah.
different, I mean, completely different experiences, of course. Yeah. And really, one was kind of seriously more difficult to live with and a little bit more like, bye-bye. And the other was a little bit like, "Meh, we kind of miss you. Do you want to go to lunch with mommy?" And no, I don't. I'm in college now. So, but, and again, it's such a different experience, I think, for people. And I see it in parents. I see it in my friends. Like I said, some people truly mourn it. Like, I feel more like you were explaining earlier, a little bit like there's an emptiness, there's a gap, but also to me, the joy of watching them, the scariness of watching them struggle along the way, and both of them did. Both of them also switched along the way and had heartbreak along the way. And I mean, it's not been easy, but watching them find their thing and do well, right? And just even from afar, from my spectator seat, I definitely have a distance, but I mean, I love it. And I think it's like, I want them to be just awesome adults who enjoy their life. And if they don't,
Yeah.
I don't have the boy mom. I'm not the boy mom who, like, my kids are just coming over every day and wanting to hang out with me and
Yeah.
delivering me the grandbabies right into my arms that I was hoping for. But I'm very much enjoying this college and graduate school part of their chapter because watching them find their thing and do well, it's so
Yeah.
cool, right? And
yeah.
get smarter than we are. I mean, they both are so far ahead of anything I can comprehend in their fields. It's so cool, right?
Yeah.
So, but I know other moms who truly just miss them and never don't miss having them around, I mean, so it's both.
Yeah.
It's such a transitional time.
It is. And I think for you and I, and probably a lot of our mom comedians, we were able to then kind of like pour our heart and our soul into our work and be like, okay, now I can go out every night and not feel like, oh, I have to cook them dinner or whatever, or you might feel like you might be missing dinner. So I think like having your own identity, having your own hobbies, having your own, career that you can kind of then
Absolutely.
feel like, oh, I can now really, go balls to the walls with
Yes,
this,
ma'am.
where I might have felt a little like, oh, I gotta take care of them,
Oh, absolutely. One of my pieces of advice to parents in my book about parenting teenagers, which
yeah.
which came out of where I felt like I was failing and flailing at parenting teenagers, and I was teaching high school, so I was doing research. Anyway, one of my pieces of advice to parents when the kids were still in high school and middle school, when they were adolescents and starting, just life gets disrupted, right?
Yeah.
Family life gets disrupted. They say, yeah, no kidding. One of my pieces of advice was that be a show off. Figure out, there is probably something that you did when you were younger, you did really well that you haven't done for a while because you have sacrificed it because you've been a mom. Do it. Do
Yeah.
it again, whatever it is. And I mean, I was telling moms at the time, like, what, stand on your head. I remember one time I did 40 push-ups in front of my two boys. They had no idea I could do that because that just wasn't something, like I exercised when they were in bed. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
went to bed and mom went out and I ran and I kept myself fit. And one time when they were old enough to care, and they went, and I went, all right, I need a little bit more of that right there. Like, take them by surprise. Just show up and do something awesome and competent, and your kids will see you in a new light.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. That's like this ninja parenting thing I have, like, keep surprising them. But also, what you're doing is sowing the seeds for what you just said, and what you and I very much experienced is, what is it that I do not, what have I not been doing? What of my passions can I keep alive in myself while I'm parenting? And then, that's right, then it will feed you when they're gone, because truly this is a different chapter. I did the most stereotypical thing. I became an empty nester, got divorced, and turned 50 all in 1 year. Didn't see it coming, truly didn't see it coming. And I mean, my decision, I was like, I'm done. But I didn't think that was going to happen. I'm a stereotype. I mean, I am absolutely just a trope. And then, in fact, found myself with all of this extra time, and my father was dying. So I mean, like, I had a lot going on, and I found stand-up comedy, and like you, I mean, and I treated it like a lot of things, like a job, like a boyfriend. It was my relationship for a while because I couldn't imagine touching another person, and so I just was like, something about going out and doing that and being heard and working. Anyway, like you say, I found this thing that, you're right, that is part of the reason I don't miss my kids being at home.
Yeah.
I didn't feel a hole because I kind of went, cool, I can do this now. And by the way, they're proud of me.
Yeah.
They don't
Yeah.
always say it, and they don't necessarily, my kids do not really want to see me do comedy. One will come, the other is like, no, thank you, but literally tells all his friends about it. I think that's exactly right. For all moms and dads who are, if kids are going off to college, and however it's making you feel, all of the feels, that is right. Remember to cultivate the thing that nourishes you, and maybe it's something that has been dormant for quite some time.
That is such good advice. I love that so much. And I should mention to everyone who is listening, Lisa has a great book called Teenagers Suck, and perfect for if you've got teenagers, if you even like
Teenagers Suck is the funny book. It's like a fake, exactly, sending them off to college. That would be a great gift.
Yeah.
It's a silly little book. It's a fake, like it's a baby book for parents of teenagers where you record, instead of baby's first step, it's baby's first misdemeanor. And I also have a book called Beyond Mama Bear, How to Survive the Balancing Act of Parenting Teenagers. And that is available on Amazon through my website. And that is a more serious, it's still a nice, lighthearted, very easy, very fun read. And that is advice for the frazzled families of adolescents who, like me, just went, oh, shoot, life got disrupted. I didn't know. I was surprised by how I was a terrible teenager myself. So I was kind of looking forward to being a mom of teenagers, and I thought I was going to know how to do it. And I was teaching high school, so I know how to deal with adolescents. And my own kids, I did not do it gracefully at all. And so I threw myself into a bunch of research, and that's what that book is about. And the premise of that book is that Mama Bear is a role model for us when the kids are little. She's good, it's our instinct. Like, Mama Bear, we hear them when they're crying, we're good mom. And then when they become adolescents, a lot of us, like Mama Bear, we hibernate, because when our kids turn into teenagers, we are real tired. And I saw that happening, parents kind of letting their kids be vulnerable. So that's my whole book is sort of, we got to stay vigilant at least as long as they are under our roofs. And as I am learning more and more every day, no, for the rest of their lives. There is a lot of vigilance, and again, it's finding the balance as always. You just did a recent podcast about letting your kids quit things. When do you let them quit? When do you make them finish the job?
Right.
That fine balance. It is, and it's like that when they're off at college. I mean, I really also have become aware of something recently, and I'm aware of it in my own heart, and now I'm just paying it forward, I guess. you will sacrifice things as a mom, as a dad. You will sacrifice so many things. And I just want you to remember that when those kids grow up, they will have no memory of that sacrifice. And in fact, if you mention it to them, they will go, I didn't ask you to do that. Yeah. So just keep that in mind. Don't sacrifice yourself too much.
Yeah. That's,
like when they're off to college, it is an opportunity for you to like run around naked all the time. Or, you know what I like to say, once they move out, your scissors will never go missing again. There are so many positive things.
It's beautiful. So many perks. So many perks. Well, Lisa, this has been so much fun. I love this. Why don't you let people know where they can find you and your books? We'll put these links in the show notes.
Yeah, awesome. I'm Lisa Lane Comedy. Lisa Lane, one letter away from Lois Lane, Superman's girlfriend. Did not occur to my parents, but that's me. LisaLaneComedy.com. And, you know, everything's there. Come and see me do Moms on Hinge shows. And other, all over the world. You know, we're just, my first cruise ship is in September. That's right. I'm doing my first cruise ship in September. It's getting real. It's crazy, but I think it'll be fun. And you know who loves to be on cruise ships? Parents who are away from their kids. Even if their kids are there, they're coming to that show. And that's honestly, that is truly why I love Moms Unhinged. And thank you for this conversation and all of the conversations. And I'm so grateful for this community of women because parenting is hard.
Yeah.
And finding the funny is great. And it's hard sometimes to find the funny. Yeah, I mean, we just discuss a lot of really deep, really serious things. But together, it sure is better than it sure does beat the alternative. It sure does beat wallowing in it and letting it beat us down. Because in the end, man, most of them, they're gonna be all right. Most of our kids are gonna be okay. Yeah. No matter what they do. And also, we can talk about not going to college is okay too, you know?
Right, exactly. That's increasingly becoming maybe that's another podcast. There we go.
Yeah, for real, actually. And it would be interesting because the way that my sons took gap years, one was, okay, you're not ready, you need to do something, but we didn't have the money to just go, you can just go travel. So he found a year of service. He did a year of service and then figured out a very non-traditional path for himself to get an education. And then the other one also did like yours, like started at a place that wasn't a good fit, ended up taking a gap year, kind of being forced a gap year because he went ahead and spent a year of college not doing college so much. Yeah. So, you know, and that was one where I actually have a lot of thoughts about that, about some kids who are just not ready. I think a gap year serves them very well.
For sure.
And even if it's just working, I'm not worried. A lot of them do go back to college, and if they don't, it may not be right for them. It's just funny how we did just assume that our kids would go to college, but that's a different conversation. Well, I think what we are ultimately doing is hoping and helping them find their passion and what will lead them to independence and autonomy and hopefully jobs.
Yes, that is the hope.
Good luck to your son and you.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
everyone, for listening and tuning in. We love you. Thank you so much, everyone.
Moms on Hinge.
Moms on Hinge. Thanks for listening, and make sure you subscribe, share, and follow us on the socials to get more comedy clips.